How's it going, everyone? Unretired here, and today is the overview of the Soldier class. Alright, so only one more video until we get to Nightblade and then our hybrid overview classes. Now, Soldier is obviously one of my favorite classes because it makes up the Blade Master, which is one of my favorite hybrid classes to play in the game, in the entire game, to be honest with you. Let's overview the character itself. And let's take a look at the skills here. So Soldier in itself, solo, is actually really good. There's very high, it's very high on survivability, sustainability. There is a constant damage flow regarding damage because you can always use cadence. You have bleeds, you have your blitz. You have a Markovian advantage, you have a Zoltan's technique, you even have Oleron's Rage, which adds internal trauma damage, pierce damage, gives you movement speed, offensive ability, it adds you HP and also physique stats. We're talking about offensive ability, defensive, armor, plus percentage to all damage, attack speed as well, even resistance. Imagine this, 12 out of 8 points right now, I'm at 24% elemental resistance and 24% slow resistance. This really helps you close to endgame, let's say once you get to ultimate, for resistances. Resistances are so important once you reach ultimate, and I would say elite as well, but not as much as ultimate. We have Scars of Battle as well. The bleeding resistance is very good. So I just put points wherever, as you can see. I just made him DPS. I could have made him tanky, could have made him with a one hand and a shield, but I did not. This time it's just to, it's just to show you guys, alright? So yeah, there's lots of skills that enable you to dish out that damage and damage over time, which we call dots. On your mobs as well. You do get a lot of physique. I mean, I'm at 1,000. Didn't really put anything into cunning for the gear that I have here, and enough spirit so you can actually put on good rings, obviously an amulet and a medal. So if we want to, we can overview the gear itself. So I have the Open Hand of Mercy and Close Fist of Vengeance. So that's the set. I find this to be really good for Soldier. I've used this set on many other melee class builds that I have, just for testing and or actual usage. I really like the Sealed Fate skill, 100% chance on enemy death. You seal the fate of your foes, confident in the judgment you cast upon them. I mean, look at that health restore and offensive ability and defensive ability that it gives you. It's a no-brainer. I have a Face Guard of Justice. I have a Avenger of Karn. God, I have a hard time saying that. Sorry. I have the Stone Fist Rebuke, the Chest Guard of Justice, Shows of Barbos. I have the Oleron's Wrath Relic, which gives me +1 to all soldier skills. Physical damage, bleeding damage over 35 seconds is at 35% increased duration. Sorry, and a bit of physical damage, and it gives me Oleron's Wrath, which is a 10% chance on attack. Gives you more physical damage, more bleed damage over time, yada yada. I have the Tinker's Ingenuity, more so for resistances itself. As you can see, if we look at my resistances, it's pretty much okay. Obviously I need to cap at least an 80% and lightning, obviously poison and acid. 70%, 70 to 80% I feel is tolerable in ultimate. Kind of overkill for bleeding, 91. This one obviously needs more, so that would be components and or devotions. Aether would be the same thing, especially for chaos damage, because in the last act you have a lot of mobs that do chaos damage. So how does the character itself stack up in combat? So let's go take a look here. Just really do this fast. There you go here. Oh yeah, this is ultimate, guys. I mean, this is. Even if I die, I'm still gonna get my Minior's Wheel that's gonna pop up. Look at that. That was my blade art technique, and it just smashed it to bits, like 20k right there. Problem, obviously, if you're going to be playing solo, is that, well, obviously that guy's reflex, so that doesn't really help us. There you go, let's run around a bit so we can regen. But yeah, okay, so solo itself, it's really good. Against certain mobs such as this, Reflective, it's going to be a bit tricky here. You know, obviously you don't want to get smashed up into bits and die all the time. You do have to be ready to die, because softcore, I mean, it's highly possible to not really care because it's softcore. But if you're playing hardcore and you're going to be playing solo up to 85 with a soldier, I would highly not recommend it. So yeah, solo, I do believe this is quite viable. Adding resist components and devotions will make this a very, very good character up until the last act. Obviously, you know, for good reasons. You can't win on everything, right? I'm probably gonna die here. But yeah, the synergy for this class to actually with other classes, sorry, especially Nightblade or any other kind of class that will do melee damage or add that melee damage for you, is just so amazing. So yeah, we just died, whatever, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, like I was saying, solo class, it's pretty good, but this class is meant to be with other classes. It is meant to be with a Nightblade to make a Blade Master. It's so destructive. It's so destructive. You can have a warder with Shaman. You can actually make one with Demolitionist. The two classes that I like the least with Soldier would be Occultist and Arcanist. They're good in themselves, but it's just I feel as if it's just to add more tankiness to the actual mage and or necromancer. I'll just call them like that for you guys. But yeah, what's your opinion, guys? What kind of devotions would you go on? What kind of skills would you put if you went solo? Components? I'm curious to know what you guys think regarding solo class builds for Soldier. Like I said, Soldier is one of my favorite classes after Nightblade, which is my fave solo before any kind of class combinations was possible in the game. But yeah, so up next will be Nightblade. Really appreciate you guys watching the video. Do put a like if you liked the video and leave your comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.